time, I couldn't record it. So, all right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. It's 5:30. We're going to kick off here our youth service meeting for the district. So thanks everyone for joining. This is our first meeting of the new year. So hopefully everyone had, a great holiday and New Year time and relaxed for a little bit because we've got a lot going on for the Rotary kind of finish line here for the next 6 months to close out Randy's year. It's already half over. But there's a lot going on. We're happy to have both Randy and Ted here with us this evening. If you haven't had a chance to read a few of the emails that have gone out over the last couple of days, please do, because there's a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. But I do want to recognize that there's going to be a need from each and every one of you to pick up some of the requests of our district governor, of our past district governor, Naomi, and Sandy, us here in the leadership team for your district, Ted being kind of at the top there, from your district staff to end the year strong. Let's do some great projects. Let's publicize the projects, as kind of been Randy's message throughout the year, and let's try to increase our engagement and our membership. Does everybody have the agenda from it was emailed out? Great. In about 15 minutes or a little less than that right now, we're going to get our community service chairs here as well. They were invited at 5:45. I do want to spend the first few moments here, though, talking a little bit about youth service specific items before we jump into what is one of the major requests this year of Volunteer Month, Hawaii, which is coming up in April, but we'll come to that in a little bit here. Just a reminder, please, if you haven't done your youth protection things, you need to do that ASAP. The year's half over. I shouldn't be asking you at this point, but I know that we probably had less than half of our clubs about 2 months ago send in their youth compliance documents to Peter Evans. If you haven't done that and your club is still on the list, I'm gonna ask Peter to ping you one more time. But you really need to do that. So I can't re-emphasize that enough. It's gonna basically come up again already in the next Rotary year coming up in July. I'm gonna skip Volunteer Month. I'm going to go straight to our District 5000 youth grants. Hopefully, those of you that are aware of the grants and your club is participating in these Interact Club grants are moving forward. The 5 awardees were notified in November, and the checks were delivered sometime in December, as I understand it, to each of the 5 $500 grantees, the Interact clubs. My Interact club is one of them. What I can tell you right now is that they've secured the space on Roosevelt's campus. They're working with their building and construction division at Roosevelt to install new planters. They're buying the materials. They're buying the garden tools. They have a Rotary work clearing day with my club in March, and we'll be installing the planters with the help of their building and construction team in April for their school garden at Roosevelt's campus. My club is going to match $500 of their $500 grant. So they have $1,000 to spend, and that I look forward to seeing their final report in April. But that's my club's district grant update. 4 other clubs in the state also got district grant funding. And so hopefully you guys are also moving your projects forward. And I look forward to seeing the final reports in April too. I have not sent yet, for those of you, I have not yet sent out the final grant report instructions yet. I will be doing that here in the next coming weeks, so you have that information. But any questions on the district grant projects? I'm hoping that this continues to build upon our investment and our time investing into these Interact clubs, and makes these clubs more active and engaging. So hopefully we can do this again next year. But any questions on this district grant program? No? All right.
I came in late. Will you, I'm sorry, I couldn't get to computer. Do you have a recap of what the district grant program is up to now?
Yeah, sure. So just so you guys know, and this was publicized at the very beginning of the year, the district gave us a little bit of extra money for a grant program that was available to our Interact clubs. And we got about $2,500 from the district through the generosity of that committee. And with that money, I put together as your youth service chair a kind of a program of what projects and what clubs would be funded. Not what clubs, but what projects would be funded. The projects applied for the funding, and we selected 5 projects for that funding. It's $500 each for that Interact club. It was meant to partner with your Rotary Club. So the Rotary clubs were to work on those projects with their Interact clubs, and basically try to have that project make a bigger impact within their community, try to engage the students to really plan a project, plan the budget, work with others to fundraise if they needed to fundraise, and just work on that leadership skills of project planning with their Interact clubs. And so I know a couple of projects are happening on the Big Island, and a few of the projects are happening here on Oahu. So next year we hope to do it again, but we'll let you know if the district has some of those funds to send our way again this year, upcoming year. All right, and we're treating this just like any other district grant project, so that's why I'm telling them, everyone be prepared to be submitting your receipts and your final reports in April for those of you that did receive some funds from the district. All right, I'm going to move on just quickly here to make sure we're moving quickly so we can have a discussion on Volunteer Month. HRYF applications are due on February 1st. That means you have another 7 or 8 days to receive applications. Is everyone doing okay on applications? Typically they come in right at the deadline or a little after because they're postmarked by February 1st. But have people been receiving any? Our club got 1 so far.
We haven't got any last year.
Okay.
It's been going downhill over the years. I did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the woman that's handling it she's HPU dean, and she's on the mainland doing work for what she does. So unless they emailed her, she ain't gonna be checking her box until she gets back. So I know what we have, but I haven't seen any or heard of any. So we'll take any extra anybody has at this point.
All right. So if you are the HRYF rep for your club, please make sure you're at least sending it to your Interact clubs, send it to your networks, send it to whomever. If you are not the HRYF rep, please find out who your HRYF rep is in your club and make sure that that's being sent out.
It was sent out. I just
it was sent out. Yeah, I know.
If she's gotten it, since
So I just want to remind those though that if your applications, they must be postmarked by February 1st. They're due February 1st. You have until February 18th to complete your interviews. So really that's not a lot of time. So just make sure each of your clubs are turning that around, getting the interviews set up, because your selection is due shortly thereafter to your area's rep. All right, Jay, question.
Well, and what I had to do is I called the school, and it was a charter school, and they said, oh, well, we have a new person, and they were handed it, but they had no idea about it. So they are working on it, and I did get 1 recommendation sent to me. But
sounds good. Naomi, you had a question.
Well, it's for Beverly. Beverly, you're listed as the scholarship rep, so it's going to your account.
Well, I haven't gotten anything then, but no, Jane Smitten filled out.
No, I'm
You
looking
get-
at the list. You're listed. So if you could call
Oh.
maybe Damien, call Damien and see if they've talk to the counselor. So call the schools that are close to you, but don't call Farrington because we got Farrington covered.
Oh, well, that's interesting because Jane said that she already took care of all that. And she's the, okay, gotcha.
It does go through various ways. It goes to the DOE, so most schools do have it. But again, I think it's just making sure we've got,
Okay.
qualified applicants applying
Okay.
for the scholarship.
Yeah.
Can
And- Yep.
I just see if I am the one who's gonna be, I didn't get anything. Last year I did get, and sometimes the president got it. So do I have my name as the person who's gonna get it? My name is Carla Garjaca,
With which club, Carla? Naomi, what check?
Waikiki.
Waikiki. So the applications, the students typically send them in late. I mean, not late, but they send it towards the end of the deadline, towards the deadline. So you'll start getting them hopefully soon. I just want to remind folks that it is coming. You need to act on it quickly. Don't sit on it. Otherwise, you might lose out on that chance to send your scholarship recipient to the next level. The other thing is I wanted to mention was make sure that you're working on your per capita donation this year. So next year, your
Excuse
clubs
me,
are
before-
eligible for the
before you
$5,000
leave that-
scholarship. Yep.
Before you leave that, I think Carla means she's not getting any communication from HRYF, and most of us are not getting anything like we got in years past,
Yeah, I'm
Which
not
is-
getting,
the dates and the procedure. All we
All
got
right.
was the application. So that's sort of late this year.
All right, Naomi, is Carla the rep for Waikiki?
Patty is.
No, Patty.
Patty.
So, and
yes,
I will tell you, I am the rep for my club. I've received at least a few emails from Faith McFatridge, who is the office admin at HRYF. Check your spam mail. It is coming. They are sending it out. So it is happening. So please go ahead and find out who your rep is with your club so you can get that done. All right. I want to move on to Ryla.
Can I ask one question,
oh, yeah.
Ryan, just
Go
for
ahead, Lisa.
confirmation?
Mhm.
Thank you. I'm with the Rotary Club of Kaneohe. We also have not received any applications yet. We've been really proactive about trying to reach out to the college counselors to, just kind of remind them of the deadline, which is coming up so soon. It's kind of a relief to hear that maybe a lot of them will flood in really close to the deadline. I am getting a few letters of recommendations come in, but I wanted to clarify, the application says that the complete application packet must be received by this participating Rotary Club rep on or before February 1st. So is it received or postmarked?
Received.
Received, did they change that? I thought it was postmarked before. So it is received. All right.
It's
Okay,
always
good to
been-
know. All right,
Yeah.
good to know. Good to know. So received, please, by February 1st. All right. I want to move on to Ryla because Ryla is coming up quickly. Rick, did you want to give an update on Ryla Oahu? And then I'll see if anyone else is on for other Rylas.
I was just looking. Yeah, so Oahu, we're coming up, well, Oahu and Big Island are coming up really fast. We're on February 17th is when they will arrive. They'll leave on the 19th, and we're in person this year. And you've probably seen, anybody that's received my emails been scrambling to get folks, well, first off, to get youth signed up. We only had 8 youth going into New Year's Day. So somebody had sent me a DOE connection, and I contacted every single public school on Oahu. We are now, as of just now, I just double checked, we're up to 32 youth. So I went from 8 to 32, but I recruited those. And so you that are youth chairs and presidents of your clubs, we've been knocking on your door for coverage to cover these guys. So it's been So I had no problem setting up speakers. I've got a remarkable, we have the folks that want to speak in person, just, I get chicken skin. Last one we signed up is Mark Merriam, next year's DG, is going to do our graduation ceremony, and he's doing a diversity, inclusion, equity kind of exercise outside. Anyway, we've got remarkable presenters. What we need now is money. And we need to continue to recruit the youth to be a part of this. My puppy just came in here. He's got the zoomies. Been knocking on people's door. Naomi's been a lot of help. Ryan's been a lot of help. But you, with your clubs, if you could please, we have room to go up to 100 students, frankly, here. We could have the whole camp. And we can sign up all the way up till February 9th. On the 10th is the cutoff date, and that's the final numbers. So we still have the flexibility. It's $150 per student. We have a bus that's going to stop in 3 places, just like we used to do, Beverly, and pick the youth up and bring them up to Camp Homolani and Wailua. So everything is kind of coming together. Ryan and Naomi have kind of felt my frustration as we've gone along, because I haven't done an in-person one other than actually presenting and being a part of it. And so I've been trying to figure out what policies and the procedures are. I've suggested that we form a task force going forward. I've even suggested that somebody had recommended to me, maybe we set up a foundation. I think I'll present that actually to Rotary Club of Honolulu, because we have a few foundations already. Bob is on here. He's probably seen the email already. So looking at doing it differently going forward next year. This year, though, we still have room, and we have room for a lot of youth. And we do need, and Beth Ann is on here also from Rotary Club of Honolulu. So we're pretty well represented. So some folks are hearing what I'm going to share in the board meeting ahead of time here. But for us, for here, and to save time, what we need is for your clubs to please recruit and send the money. We're sending the money to the district, to the treasurer. I hope that's going to work, and to get stuff paid for. So $150 per student, and we have plenty of room at this point. And if you want to hear more about it, I don't want to take up all of our time here with this, but if you want to see the program, if you want to talk to me, I'm available, and we can talk about it. We have, I will say, where we've done really, really well here is I have 17 volunteers here on Oahu from our Rotaries. Rotarac is actually going to be our Alakai this year. And I've got a number of youth. We've already done training for the youth facilitators. We're in really, really good shape. We just need, I would really love to see more students. The last thing I'm waiting for, so I'll just tell you, there's some zingers that I bring in that we've been offered. I'm waiting for Haumea, who's one of our Rotary Club of Honolulu members who manages a lot of bands here. So I'm just waiting to hear from her if Henry Kapono can make it live. So he made it live for our online, and he really wants to do this. So they're just checking the schedule to see if he can come. And then Kent Ranker, Dr. Ranker is with our Rotary. His nephew is Alex Kawakawa, and so we want him to come also, because he does this beautiful, beautiful version of sailing with Henry. And I just love to hear them do that. And then he with Best Buddies did this remarkable sing-along for Sweet Caroline that had like 1,000 people at however many people fit in Jazz Alley for Best Buddies, up singing top of their lungs. So it's going to be remarkable. And if you want to hear more, let me know. It's going to be a fun rally though. And there's still room for you to volunteer also, by the way. And you can even spend 3 days up there with us, because we have a cabin that still sleeps 16. So go ahead, Ryan.
I will say, it's a lot of work. Rick and his committee have done a very good job. Yeah, I mean, we are where we're at right now. We need more people, right? And so I'll tell you kind of who's, and the interesting thing is, Rick, the list of people who are attending right now, I see from your high school count, a lot of these high schools don't even have Interact clubs. So they're coming from high schools that actually don't have Interact clubs. So,
right.
My question is, like, where are all the high schools that do have Interact clubs that we have active on Oahu, right? And so
right.
I see, Punahou, I see Midpack, Roosevelt, James Campbell, St. Louis, Farrington, Kapolei High, Pacific Buddhist Academy is great. They have one from Mililani, one from Radford. So that's great. But we need more. I mean, I think we need more. Rick, we're going to get 7 more from Roosevelt from my club. So you'll be
beautiful.
You'll be there from that.
Let me share. Punahou actually came last year because Michael Latham, president of Punahou, is one of our members. And so at last minute, he opened the door. He wasn't going to send Punahou until everybody else had a chance to come first. He opened the door, and we had a number of those students come. From those students, I got a call from a couple, one that started their own nonprofit. They're now actually, they're going around and picking fruit off of seniors or people's trees and giving them to food banks and things like that. They started their own nonprofit, sparked on by RILA. Two other ones started the Interact Club at Punahou. That's all from RILA. So if you're wanting to get an Interact Club, this is a good way to get it going, because they're going to meet the kids. So you don't have to be an Interact to be in RILA, and you don't have to be an honor student or a jock. Anybody that's in high school can come to RILA, because everybody has leadership within them, and we'll definitely help them shape that. So, okay.
All right.
Oh, you know what? This is the 63rd. I looked it up. This is the 63rd year. RILA's been going for 63 years already internationally. So. Yeah, we just want to get this going. Oh, and I would even suggest that we and Junior RILA kind of team together so we can make this, just more of a natural process, less work trying to recruit people. So thank you.
Thank you. I know Big Island's pretty set. Maui's pretty set. So, I know they have attendees lined up there too. So Oahu, though, I think there's a big push. If again, they don't have to be an Interact Club, but we do need some sponsorships. So your club, if you can contribute to help sponsor some of the students, that would be great too, at $150 a person. Instructions on the emails were sent to how to send that money into the district. All right.
Right.
Yes.
That would take more time. I know we got to start with the community service, but Mike Curtis is from Puipu Beach, and Puipu Beach is doing Kauai. And I think Kauai, Mike, is it going to be later in the year?
I'm not sure. I'm not privy to that.
Oh, Ted?
I had a report from Cyrus this past week that they're looking at October this year for the next RILA.
Great. So we'll be tracking that as well. I know Junior RILA will be likely again. Joanne, I don't know if Joanne, I think she couldn't make it today, but will also be in the beginning of the year. So there could be a Junior RILA and a RILA in the beginning of the school year. All right. I'm gonna switch gears here, and I see a bunch of people on, and it's great to see everyone's smiling faces. I probably know most of you, some of you, but if you're a community service chair, can you raise your hand or digital hand? All right. All right, sounds good. Great. So thanks for attending today. I think hopefully you've seen a couple of emails come from both me and Naomi and Wally, and there may have been another one today that hopefully you were forwarded by your president was forwarded to you. What I'm gonna explain to you tonight. It really requires, I think, a joint effort between the youth service committees and the community service committees in your clubs. And I think it's great. I think we've always been looking for ways to try to bring both of them together. And I think that it's been natural for some clubs. It's a little bit harder for others. Here's a chance, I think, to try to bring them together with a little bit of help. This upcoming April is what's being called Volunteer Month. It's something that an organization called Kanu Hawaii has done for the last several years, but have done it over a week's period instead. It was called Volunteer Week before. They've worked with, they've had good connections with local politicians, the airlines and the tourism industry, and tried to kind of market this as a opportunity for folks visiting the islands to participate in community service projects while they're here, but have also created a system that allows folks to sign up their projects to this volunteer database through Volunteer Month, now Volunteer Month, before Volunteer Week. Get folks to sign up for it, track their man hours, track their volunteer hours, I apologize, track their project's impact. And it's kind of a clearinghouse, a kind of a site where everyone can kind of look through the different projects and decide to go to some or volunteer with others, or just try to find a way to find out how much volunteer impact was made during that week or during that month of, and what we're doing now is the month of April. Randy, your district leadership team has committed Rotary to being a part of Volunteer Month this year. And I think it's a good opportunity here for one, both find ways to engage our membership in new or interesting projects, as well as potentially find new volunteers and new members for our clubs. And so the ask, I think, is simple and kind of, I'll try to put into 3 buckets. I've been ruminating over this for the last couple of weeks. One, if your club is doing a Rotarians at Work Day project this year, which we should all be doing, the ask is that you're branding that as part of this Volunteer Month Hawaii system. It's really all it is signing up the project in the system. The organizers of Volunteer Month have promised me that Rotary is going to get a landing page this time. So anyone who's interested in Rotary projects will go straight to a landing page for Rotary District 5000, and then you'll see all the various Rotary projects that we're going to be doing across the state. If you already have that Rotarians at Work Day project, please invite your Interact Club to that project if you have an Interact Club. We want this to be a joint effort between your Interact clubs and your Rotary clubs. Rotarians at Work Day. If you do not have a Rotarians at Work Day project, so this is bucket 2, please, we need you to have one Rotarians at Work Day project. The ask is that if you have an Interact club, work with your Interact club and have the Interact club plan a project at their school. It can be as simple as a campus beautification day. You can paint some bleachers, or you can paint a classroom, or you can do some garden cleanup around the school, whatever it might be, but work with the Department of Education. I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. Work with your schools and your Interact clubs at those schools to do a project at your school. If you already don't have a Rotarians at Work Day project, and use that project as your Rotarians at Work Day project. And the goal really is to just try to get you and your Rotary club engaged with your Interact club at the school. The last bucket is, if you don't have a Rotarians at Work Day project and you don't have an Interact club, please reach out to a high school in your area that does not have an Interact club that you want to work with, and see if the administration there would be willing for your Rotary club to do a project at their school. And this, I'm going to explain this really quickly, but I will come back to it in a little bit. The reason the push is to do these projects with the school is because, in conjunction with Volunteer Month, Kaneohe has a program called Pledge to Our Keiki. And it's a very simple pledge. It's basically a commitment to making sure that our keiki have both the leadership skills, but also a place to live in that is going to be safe for them. It's going to be comfortable for them. It's going to, the environmental aspect of it, the cultural aspect of it, their community in the next 50 years on this island in this state of Hawaii is going to be something that they can live with and be proud of. And it's our job now as adults to pledge to that future. The DOE and Kaneohe have entered into a 5-year partnership through this pledge program. And the DOE has committed to support over the next 5 years this pledge in their schools, which starts with awareness and commitment, but will ultimately over the next 5 years go to action. The DOE and the campuses will be encouraged to work with their volunteer community service organizations in their schools to do projects at their campuses that are meant to improve their futures. And because we have this partnership with Kaneohe, because we have this partnership with the Pledge for Keiki and Volunteer Month, the organizers have asked us if Interact wants to be the ambassadors and the voice of this pledge, of this movement over the next 5 years. As your youth service chair for the district, I think this is a great way to get Interact clubs engaged in their campuses and their high schools, to build new Interact clubs, and to build our membership. And I think that the partnership is there. It's clear. I've seen the memorandum that the DOE has signed with Kaneohe with the pledge to our keiki. I think we can leverage this as an organization to really re-engage and build our Interact clubs throughout the state. So that's like the 5-minute high-level version of why we're doing this. This was announced to your presidents at the president's mid-year meeting with Randy. And so hopefully this isn't coming as a total surprise to you. But really the ask is it's not meant to be a heavy lift, right? We are all in our individual Rotary clubs planning on having a Rotarians at Work Day project. It's meant to use the efforts that have already been going on, not try to double or duplicate our efforts, but really try to bring the youth together with our Rotary clubs, commit to the pledge, and you'll see further action beyond Volunteer Month with our Interact clubs and our DOE high schools moving forward. And that's something that I'm very excited about. So I am going to, before we get a deluge of questions, just point out that a email went out to youth service chairs and presidents this afternoon or this morning from someone that is helping me to kind of coordinate this for the district. And her name is Christina Tomino. She is a former Roosevelt High School Interact Club officer who wants to join Rotary. I've kind of graciously pointed her off to a club. I should have pointed her to my club, but I think I think she'll do better in a different club. Alan knows our club is very, very expensive for our under 30 professionals. But she's going to be helping track this for all 50 something clubs we have in the state. Please respond to her. Don't be afraid that email went out. It has my name on it as well. So she's going to be tracking everyone's kind of commitment to this program. I'm hoping we get all 50 something Rotary clubs participating. I hope we get all 20 something active Interact clubs in the state participating. She's going to be looking at each club, whether you've checked the box, you're saying you're going to participate, whether your Interact club is going to participate. You're working with your Interact club or you're working with your DOE school. And then she's going to help you get your projects registered on this volunteer month database of these projects that are going to be a part of a bunch of other projects too, right? I think last year they said 20,000 hours over 500 projects or whatever it was. Rotary is going to be a big part of that this year. And so again, I'm trying to make this as simple for the clubs as possible. And so I welcome any suggestions as well. But any questions for me? And maybe I'll start with who doesn't have a Rotarians at Work Day project already planned?
I don't know. I'm not the community service chair.
All right. I know it's really hard to poll on Zoom. So if maybe I can just ask one club to just chime in. Who doesn't have their community service and Rotarians at Work Day service day planned in April?
We're working on it.
You're working on it, Jay. Okay, you're working on it. What project are you working on?
Well, this is what either a beach cleanup, but I would really like to see it go to the school. I have our incoming Jim Fritsch is going to be our youth service chair.
Okay.
And Judy Gray is going to take over community service. They're both on the Zoom with us. So
all right.
We have three
cool.
heads working on it.
Jay, you're my guinea pig. You have had a Interact club. I know they haven't been able to meet as often. How is your Interact club doing?
Well, Jim, you can say, but Jim has been really leading the club.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just wondered if I had to unmute something or not. We are active, and
okay, good.
A group that is just putting together a recycling program on the campus, primarily for white paper. at most schools, as you know, there's a tremendous amount of white paper that gets thrown away once the kids receive their work. And rather than throw that away, the students thought it was probably better to try to find a way to recycle it. And so we're setting up recycle boxes actually this Wednesday on that campus.
Great.
One project.
That's one project, right? A little early, so you're ahead of the curve. But if you have another idea or something that you can build upon that project in your school for the month of April, that can involve your Rotarians in your club. I think that would be a great way to meet the ask of your district leadership team here.
Hey, Ryan,
Yes.
you want them to put it on the chat on what they're doing, or you want to do a whiteboard?
Either way, chat is also fine.
And Kara
if-
has her hand up.
If someone can help me monitor it. Yeah, Kara, go ahead.
All right. So I sat in that meeting last Saturday because Joni had asked me to, because she was leaving, and I'm president-elect 2024. So I said, okay, I'll sit in and listen. So I did take note of this project at Kane, Hawaii. And so before that meeting, we've already scheduled something at the school in March. So my question, I had my hand up, is this project we're doing at the Malama Learning Center, we're just cleaning it up, and we're just providing hands-on for now, is on March 22nd. So that doesn't qualify for April, I'm hearing, right? It has to happen in April.
It has to happen in April, and I think the only reason I think is because this group, Kanu Hawaii, wants to really kind of show the impact over a finite period of time, because everyone could, is doing projects other times as well. Has to happen in April.
Okay, so
and
here's
so
going in April.
go
All right,
for it.
So we're gonna do, on the 8th, we're making Genki balls,
Mhm.
and 22nd, we're tossing. That's already been set. And on the 15th, there is a food distribution by a club or another organization that Natasha kind of brought up. So we're going to do that on the 15th. And then on the 22nd, in the morning, the club was going to plant coconut trees with Paula.
Well,
Okay, so now,
Yeah.
should I move this Malama to the 29th? I don't know.
No, I think you're doing fine, Kara. You could register all three of those projects
Oh,
as
really?
as a volunteer month projects, as your volunteer month projects. I'll just ask that your Interact clubs be invited. There's one other thing I forgot to mention that I'm still working out the details, but this is the interesting part of this whole process. The projects can be open to the public. And I know that's a little scary, but it also is it could be a very big opportunity for all of us to have folks that are not in Rotary learn about Rotary. And so, could be a very big membership, a way to promote membership and Rotary membership. Like I said, the organizers here are gracious enough to give us a landing page. I'm working on a way for us to make the projects, you can apply to join the projects and the clubs can screen who's applying. So I don't want it to be like a free for all. Like, so if you made your projects public and you just had like random people signing up, tourists, like whomever, like that's kind of like where I know that's a little scary. So I'm working with organizers to try to make it so you can have folks apply to your projects and you can pre-screen them first. I think it's helpful because if you're going to have youth around for your projects, you want to make sure your youth are protected. So it's a little bit of a conflict there. Like, don't have your projects open to the public if you know you're going to have your youth clubs present. It's just not probably the best idea. But if you are going to have your youth club present, I still think there's a way that we can invite the public, especially parents of students, things like that. We can have them find ways to sign up and make it workable. Carrie, yeah, go ahead.
So, okay, so the 8th and the 22nd is also with Makakilo Elementary Early Act Club. And so
Great.
should I have them sign up too?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
My third question then is, so the Interact Club is the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd. The West Oahu Coconut, more than likely, it's the coconut plant, more than likely it's going to be the adults. Is that okay? Or do you want?
That's okay. No,
Yeah,
I
okay.
think I don't want this to be super complicated, but I do want you to invite the youth where it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if it doesn't make sense, you don't have to. I think for you, because you have 2 other events, you're probably fine. But that's a good example, I guess, of Jay and Kara. So Kara's kind of already got her club in a good spot. She's got 3 projects in April. We can brand them all as volunteer month projects, and one of them can be her Rotarians at Work Day project.
Perfect.
She can have the youth at 2 of them. She can't have the youth at 1 of them. That's totally fine too. But Kara, I just asked you to respond to that email that came out from my assistant, Christina, and just let her know that's your plan. She'll reach out to you to get more information.
So that's what my question was to you. Can you put her email on the chat, and then I will just introduce myself, because I may not get it from Barbara or from Joanne.
Sure. And I did. It's in there. Christina Tomino, christina.tomino.143 @gmail.com. All right. Great. Anyone else want? I'm going to go through the. Should I go through the chat?
I just called.
Okay, Beverly, go ahead.
I just called my community service chair, Anna Stone, and she said, well, it isn't on the exact day of Rotary, but we are having something at the Y for kids, and it's going to be, I think, on the 20-something of 28th. So we do have a project, and we are going to be there talking about Rotary and talking to the kids at the downtown YMCA.
Right. Wally and Randy, Rotarians at Work Day is on April 22nd. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. So Beverly's, and this is a good example again here. Beverly's got a project on Rotarians at Work Day, right? On April, well, probably on Rotarians at Work Day. There's no need to change any of that, right? So the project could stay on Rotarians at Work Day. It just needs to be branded as a volunteer month project. We'll do all the signups. We'll help my committee, my group will help you sign those projects up, get the people signed up through the database, so we can track how many hours and volunteers have attended each of those projects. The goal for Randy here is to get a report at the end of April that we had 100 Rotary projects. We had 1,000 volunteers or 2,000 volunteers related to Rotary, and they contributed 5,000 volunteer hours of service.
Well, just get me his info and I'll pass it on to Anna, because she's pretty good with this.
All
She
right.
knows massaging.
Sounds good. So I've been emailing presidents and youth service chairs. I hope everyone has been getting them.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I'm going to go through the list here. Kathleen has a good relationship with Castle High School. You're going to do, Lisa and I are thinking about Rotarians at Work Day with them. Absolutely. Go for it. E-Rotary. E-Rotary doesn't have a plan project, but looking at a beach cleanup. You don't have an Interact Club. Okay, so that's a good example for our e-club, our Rotary e-club. If you want to continue to do your beach cleanup, that is totally fine. I am not going to tell you one way or the other. If you want to instead do a campus beautification because you don't have an Interact Club at a local school near you, that would be great. I don't want to make it too hard for you either, but if you want to try, that would be one request. And I only say this because we're trying, Rotary District 5000 is trying to build this relationship with the Department of Education. And this pledge to our keiki is the vehicle through which we're going to try to do that. And so the more we can do with the DOE around this pledge, I think the better. All right. Nancy, Kona Sunrise, you have a project planting trees at the cemetery.
Yes.
absolutely can be your project. I know Kealakekee is already doing their grant project, so that's great. So don't worry about it. Invite your students to that project. And it doesn't have to be at the school because you're already doing a grant project at your school. And you should be set up fine as well. Kahala
Okay.
is planning is a Kamuki cleanup with New Valley and St. Louis Interact Clubs. Great, perfect. Just brand that again as your volunteer month project. Bob over at is that Rotary Club of Honolulu, Earth Day centered at Centennial Park. Please just invite your Interact clubs to that. Obviously the Centennial Park is a very important piece of your club, and so if as long as you get your Interact clubs participating with you, great. That's fine.
We'll do that. I'm working with Beth Ann on that, and that will happen.
Great. Ala Moana doesn't have a project yet. Here's this good one from Lonnie. Ala Moana doesn't have a project yet, but does have an Interact club. You'll check with your adopted school Lunalilo to see if there's any projects at their school. Perfect. I think that's what we want to hear. So if you don't have a project yet, but you do have Interact club, find a way to do a project over at their school. Waikiki does not have an Interact club yet. That's okay. Again, either if you decide to work with your school, that's fine. If you want to hui onto one of these other great Rotarians at Workday projects, that's also acceptable. The goal is just really to get all clubs active and participating in Volunteer Month and get their Interact clubs participating in Volunteer Month as well. All right. Nicole, your Rotaract club doesn't have a project yet. You can definitely work with Interact club or someone to get a Rotarians at Workday project together, I'm sure. But again, just try to do it with the DOE. If you want to do it with the DOE, I think that'd be great, even for you as a Rotaract club. Mililani Malka. I don't know if Nicole's listening to me. All right, she's giving a thumbs up.
Wait, what did you say about Mililani Malka?
Do a Rotaract club Rotarians at Workday project at Mililani Malka. Since you have the ins there.
That's true, but I think we might probably hop on with downtown Honolulu because their Interact club is central.
Great. All right. So did I make that super complicated, or hopefully that I didn't?
I do have a question.
Yes.
So, how do I, or where do I go for branding this as part of a volunteer month? Where do I go on that?
Great question, and I'll try to be more clear because I know I'm mangling this a lot. There's an email that went out today, and I will try to resend it. It had my my former Roosevelt Interact Club officer's contact information in there. She just needs you to email her back, saying what you're doing and when you're doing it, and who's going to be invited to it. And she and I will work with the organizers of Kanu Hawaii to then help you get your project registered on the site. And that information will be coming up soon because they are going to start a mad publicity blitz on this over the next month and a half. You're going to likely see Volunteer Month a lot of places in the news, with the airlines in the tourism industry. There's going to be a lot of publicity that they're going to try to push out of this. They've even asked some of our Rotary Club members if we want to call local businesses and get local businesses to be part of Volunteer Month. That's a separate effort. I don't want to confuse anyone with, but that's also happening. You're going to see a lot of information on it. And that's when we definitely want to have all of your projects listed on the website.
Okay.
And so that's going to be in the next month or so.
All right. Thank you.
More information to come.
Thank you.
Jay, question.
Well, I have a statement here at 4:23 today. I finally got an answer from a teacher at Kalani Hikoi High School, and they are having paperwork for their Interact Club.
Awesome.
All right. And where does that get sent? Does it get sent to district governor or?
district governor, if it's this club certification form, it goes to me and district governor, so district governor Randy can sign it.
Yes, okay. I
And then
will-
and then once it's signed, it goes into Rotary International. All right. Beth, that's you, Beth, right?
That's me. Thank you.
All
It's
right.
Beth Ann. Thank you. So let me just repeat this back to you. So I understand that you want to make sure that our projects are all registered, so they're going to be part of the Media Blitz. But inversely, are we also going to be able to get some collateral material so that, the schools can be able to pass this out and work among the Interact students so that they know what they're doing, or they've got something to hang on to, either digitally, preferably, or, real paper stuff?
Absolutely. I asked the same question. I am working on getting that from the organizers.
Okay.
If you have a very active Interact club that, and I want this, and I want to say this with all due respect to this group here. If you have a very active Interact club, the organizers have told me that they're willing to provide a few of these Pledge to Our Keiki Volunteer Month like backdrops that you can take a photo in front of, and you can hashtag, the social media thing.
Right.
I'm not even on that, and I consider myself relatively young, but they want to set up at least 5 of them in various schools. I told them that I would offer that to our group with Interact clubs to do that. And so it's something that is kind of the start of this publicity blitz. And then I think there will be a QR code where you can find out more information about Volunteer Month there. But I also have asked for the flyers, the other collateral, so that can be distributed with the Interact clubs and with the schools.
Okay, good. Because
If
I know
you're
we
interested-
have a few clubs, and I'm going to be meeting with the Priory, which is one of our newer clubs. And I think, when someone is new and there's that fire. And so I want to make sure that we engage them in all ways possible. And Bob and I will talk about all this for Centennial Park and that whole thing, because it's going to be wonderful. So I'll
Great.
wait to hear from you with some collateral. But meanwhile, thanks very much.
Great. So send me your request if you want one of those backdrops. I have to be honest, I'm going to be very diligent about it. I'm going to try to spread it around amongst the islands and the geographical locations and things like that. I can't get every Interact club one. So I just want to be very fair to all of you. All right. That was a lot of information, but why the big why of all of this, again, I think if I can just leave you, because we have 8 minutes left, is that I think, there's a lot of energy out there that we haven't tapped yet. And I think it's great that the schools are back in person. I'm getting a lot of excitement out of, the inner clubs that our club works with. I think though, we just need a little bit of a push, right? And I think as an organization, Rotary, we just need a little bit of a push sometimes. And I think this is the push that we can all use here to really help grow membership in our Rotary clubs, our Interact clubs, our Rotaract clubs, grow a little bit of branding and public image from all of our work, all of our community service projects that we do around the state, and then just try to build the momentum around re-energizing our own clubs, right? Our own clubs that haven't been as active during the pandemic, trying to get us all back out, being a part of something bigger, I think is always a great thing. And Rotary is a great place to be a part of something bigger in of itself, but this is something where where Rotary as a state organization be a part of the state doing other things as well. So I thank you all for your time and your effort being a part of this. It's Randy, Randy's vision. I'm just the hammer. And so I thank you all for being a part of this effort. And I think like I said, I think we're going to find that we're going to get a lot of people involved. We're going to find a lot of great opportunities coming from the relationships that get built out of this effort. And I think I look forward to the next 5 years again to working with the DOE on this Pledge to Our Keiki. So that's all I wanted to say. I'll leave the last 5 minutes for any more questions. Jay. Jay,
Right.
you're on mute. You went
I'm
to.
sorry,
You went,
I have company coming. I have, when are we having the next meeting? We put that
next
as a
meeting will
postponement.
be in. I don't want to change this format. The next meeting will be on the 27th. Oh, I'm sorry. You're the one that asked if we could move it to the 27th, right?
Yes, because it's conflicting with incoming presidents, I believe. I'm incoming president.
On the
Number
20th.
Yes.
Right.
So-
So let's move it to the 27th if no one has any objections. We'll make that update in the calendar. And it'll be on the 27th
Which month?
of February. So that's 5 weeks away. Thanks for reminding me, Jay. That's 5 weeks away. That's a long time to kind of go silent on everything we just talked about just now. So you're gonna see emails coming from me. Please don't ignore them. Your district leadership team tries very hard to keep you all engaged, so please don't ignore us. We're gonna get this done remotely. You'll see a couple of emails with some links and things like that to sign up for. Hopefully, the pandemic made you guys all tech savvy Rotarians. All right, Beverly.
We have a joint Interact Club with Hickam Pearl Harbor at the old Dole Middle School. Who is handling that from, I'm sorry, who are you? I see your
Alan
hand.
Kamimuto.
You're Alan, okay. Because,
The infamous Alan, yes.
Infamous Alan.
okay, infamous Alan. I will get in touch with you then.
Please.
I'm sure
Al-
somebody will have your email.
All right, Alan and Hickam Pearl Harbor is doing your section of bike path for Rotarians at Workday. Great. Again, bring your Interact clubs out there as you can. Tiara, Eco Rotary will be doing our annual Ridge to Reef cleanup. Invite will be extended to our Eco Interact at Pacific Buddhist Academy. Great. If you saw anything that tickled your interest, please reach out to that club. There's no reason these can't be joint projects either. Jay, go ahead.
The 27th is a conflict. It's the
Okay, the 27th is the conflict,
the 20,
right?
yes, it's
Okay. I remember now. Is everyone okay moving it to the 20th? I'm gonna make an executive decision and move it to the 20th.
I'm good.
Because it gives us a little bit less time to do the things that we need to do before you all need to report back to me. There's nothing like a little bit of pressure.
I don't know if it matters if that's President's Day.
It is President's Day.
Right. Yeah, 20th.
But we will hold it on the Monday evening. So get your President's Day festivities done in the morning.
Thank you, everyone. It's
Thank you.
the foundation dinner in Maui.
All right. Randy or Wally, maybe Randy first. Did you want to say anything before we close out in the next 2 minutes?
Just very, very shortly, Ryan, I just want to say, what a great job tonight. I mean, you covered so much and you did such a great job with it. I know you may not have been able to address everybody's questions, but when a chair can get almost 40 people to show up on a Monday night to talk about youth services and community services, it's a huge success. So great job. And you hit on some things that I think are very, very, very important to me, and partnering and leveraging, all of those kinds of things make a huge difference. And whenever we collaborate and come together, then we have PI events that are newsworthy. So great job. And, thank you all for taking the time to come out tonight. Almost 40 people. So I just think it's totally awesome, Ryan. And just keep it up, buddy.
Thank you. I have a very engaged youth service team, and yeah, obviously we have some very engaged community service teams here as well. So I'm very fortunate to have that energy behind my team, my committee. Wally, did you want to say anything as district community service chair?
No, you covered everything, Ryan. Thank you very much. Everything that we wanted to talk about, you got it covered. So great job.
No, thank you. You and I will touch base just to make sure we know where things are going. I know you've done a lot of work to get Rotarians at Work Day projects going around. So let's talk sometime. All right. It's 6:30. I promised you I'd get you out of here on time. So any last questions?
I do, Ryan. It's letter F on your agenda, the Young Leader Celebration. Will you?
Thank you for, I totally missed it. And if I can just beg for one more minute here. Nicole is on the line, our Rotaract club, our e-Rotaract club is planning, furiously planning another Young Leader Celebration this year. It's open to all of our interactors, as well as folks who want to join Interact, our Rylands, our RYLA alumni, our HRYF recipients. But they have to be in high school, obviously, or middle school if they're in Interact. But we are doing a mini celebration for them on, did I have it right? April 23rd, Nicole,
No.
or April 16th, we moved it. I knew we moved it. April 16th at
Yeah,
Mililani
it's April
Mauka.
16th.
Wrong date. I apologize on the agenda. April 16th. Don't look at my agenda. April 16th in the afternoon at Mililani Mauka. There is a small registration fee because this year we weren't able to get a very generous donation we got from James Campbell Company last year. But for the $10, you get fun, food, entertainment, games. There'll be a mini community service project that they'll also be doing as part of this event. And it's also just a time to recognize Interact Club's good work across the state. So there is going to be a link that I think a link did go out already to certain folks. I will be sending it out to our entire youth service team to get folks registered for it. Transportation will be provided again as well. We are also looking for donations, both monetary and in kind. So you may see a small request from us as well. Nicole, anything else? Did I miss?
So the flyer is going to be sent out whenever Ryan emails that to you. I just finished it a couple hours ago, and I'm going to send that to him after this meeting. But it does advertise it as free for the kids. So I would love if anyone, all the clubs could pitch in like we do with Ryla to cover the fees. Like Ryan said, it is just like a small $10 fee for them and they'll get free food. We're doing mini service events this year. Anyone that did attend last year, I know it was only about an hour long. This year it's going to be about 3 hours. And we have little mini service events, no heavy lifting. It's small things like making cards and craft kits for kids in hospitals. We are, as Ryan said, looking for in-kind and monetary donations. As he said, we were not as fortunate in getting the $3,000 from James Campbell, but we're trying our best to just plan it anyway and find our way with the money. But I have all the Rotaractors on board. Everyone has been busy trying to get things together. So we're really excited for the schedule. And yeah, if anybody wants to help with anything, let me know.
So do a Rotarians at Work Day project or volunteer month project during the month of April, and then send your kids over to the Young Leader Celebration on the 16th in Mililani. It's going to be at Mililani Mauka Elementary. More detailed flyers and information to come, but we did it last year as part of the district conference, or as kind of the first day of the district conference, and the kids had fun. So it's just a chance for them to relax and meet other people and interact. So, all right, I apologize. We're 4 minutes over, but thanks for reminding me that I did skip something on my agenda. Thank you all again. Feel free to reach out to me at any time with any questions, but you'll be hearing from me on a bunch of things coming up, obviously, in the next couple of months. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan, thank
All
you.
right, good night.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.